We begin our look at sports with the obvious. The New York Jets lost to New England to close the season and showed head coach Adam Gase the door right away. Of course they did. This time, Gang Green will try something different when it comes to their head coach hire, or at least that's what management has said this week. Instead of bolstering one side of the ball, which they tried unsuccessfully 2 years ago with the hiring of the offensive-minded Gase, CEO Christopher Johnson says they will look for a head coach who can galvanize the entire team. That sounds like a good plan. The Jets have sought permission to interview several candidates, highlighted by Kansas City Chief Offensive Coordinator Eric Bieniemy. He's done some job guiding the high-powered reigning Super Bowl champions. He'd be a nice look for the Jets. Here's more from the recently departed Gase and young quarterback Sam Darnold, who hopes to stay with the franchise.
I know we had some adversity to overcome. I'm sure when we look back at it, there'll be things that we wish we would have done different. But this is where we're at right now, and it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I definitely didn't play well this year. I think, there was, really only the 2 games that we won. I think I can definitely play better in the future, and I don't think I played well enough this year to, I wasn't consistent enough, and that's really it.
Nice accountability for Darnold, but a lot of the woes this season really fall on the shoulders of Gase. Curious if the Jets would look into Bronx native and former offensive line coach Doug Marrone. The team lost out to Jacksonville in the top pick sweepstakes, but could snag the recently fired head coach in Jacksonville, even if the Jags no longer feel that he was good for the job. Marrone was previously considered for the Jets head coaching gig and had success as an assistant for the team from 2002 to 2005. He had a share of highs and lows in Jacksonville, posting a 25-44 mark, including the postseason in 4+ seasons. He did reach one AFC title game and helped the franchise to their first division title since 1999. Meantime, the Giants clearly have found their leader and head coach Joe Judge, yet they still come up just short of the postseason, and man, it was dramatic. Sunday marked the final day of the 2020 NFL regular season, and as usual, the playoff picture stood to change a great deal. Entering Sunday evening's game between the Washington football team and Philadelphia Eagles, the Giants just needed the Eagles to come away with a victory, and New York would be postseason bound. However, the Eagles ended up falling to Washington 2014, despite the game being close all night long. Early in the fourth quarter, the Eagles, who stood to have a higher draft pick if they lost, pulled starting quarterback Jalen Hurts in favor of his backup. That basically gifted Washington the win. The G-Men held up their end of the bargain, though, defeating the Dallas Cowboys 23-19 earlier in the day. Here's more from inside the locker room.
We had 16 opportunities this year. That's it. It's our responsibility to take care of our opportunities and to perform better and execute the situations when they're on our plate. We don't ever want to leave our fate in the hands of anybody else. So we're not going to make excuses as an organization, not now, not ever. We had our opportunities. We need to learn from the lessons we have from this year and carry them forward. That's the experience you truly gain. But that's really the most important thing right there. Our opportunities. There's a number of sacrifices that have been made by all the players and coaches in this league. There's a number of sacrifices that come along as well with the family members of the people connected to them. To disrespect the effort that everyone put forward to make this season a success for the National Football League, to disrespect the game by going out there and not competing for 60 minutes and doing everything you can to help those players win, we will never do that as long as I'm the head coach of the New York Giants.
And I was angry because I know that we had 16 opportunities to make it happen. And, anytime you put your destiny in another man's hands, it typically doesn't bode well for you. So, I'm not really angry at what they done. They don't owe us anything. But, we had countless opportunities to, make it happen, and we didn't. So, it is what it is. It's just a tough pill to swallow.
I could see why Giants fans are so upset, but at the same time, the team did lose 3 of their 4 final games, which was the reason that the NFC East division race came down to the final day of the regular season. The Giants finished 6-10, the Jets 2-14. The Giants will look towards the future after a 6-win season and some promise under their first-year head coach. One New York team won more games than the Jets and Giants combined this NFL season. The Buffalo Bills went 13-3 and won the AFC. The Bills are heading right back to the postseason. And they are doing so as AFC East champions. They clinched their first division title since 1995, their second consecutive playoff berth, and third over the last 4 seasons. The prior 2 berths were kindled by stellar defensive play, while the 2020 accent has been led by the dynamic play of quarterback Josh Allen, along with his excellent cast of receivers. What a connection between Allen and wide receiver Stephon Diggs. The Bills look like a serious threat to the Chiefs and the rest of the top-tier Super Bowl contenders. Speaking of top tier when it comes to the NFL, we say goodbye to a legend this week, our good friend Floyd Little, the Pro Football Hall of Famer, known as the Franchise in his career with the Denver Broncos, died on New Year's Day. He was 78. We had the privilege of chronicling Little's journey into Canton, Ohio, as he was immortalized beside other greats of the game. Little had been diagnosed with cancer, which became public this past May and was moved to hospice care in November. For many fans in Denver, Little was the team's first star, always a vibrant presence at team functions. Little had also become a regular at ceremonies in Canton for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Little was enshrined in that amazing Hall of Fame class of 2010. A 3-time All-American at Syracuse University, Little is also in the College Football Hall of Fame. He made his mark in upstate New York like the Bills are right now. He'll never be forgotten, a great player and arguably a greater person. The Heisman Trust always looks for that right combination too. It's fitting Alabama wide receiver DeVonta Smith is the runaway choice for the 2020 Heisman Trophy. After all, Smith ran away from opposing defenses for most of the season. The senior All-American bests Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence and Alabama QB, his quarterback, Mac Jones. Smith makes Heisman history after catching 105 passes for 1,641 yards and 20 touchdowns so far this season. He leads the country in all 3 categories. He is the first wideout to win the award since Michigan's Desmond Howard in 1991, Notre Dame's Tim Brown in 1987, and Nebraska's Johnny Rodgers in 1972 are the only other receivers in the modern era to win the Heisman. Here's more from Heisman Central.
You got to put your mind to the things that you want to do. If it's something that you really want to do, you have to truly believe in it and work for it and just keep working, and you're going to get everything that you're looking for. Seeing the people back at home, it kind of hit me hard. I kind of wanted to cry, but I stayed strong. Just to see the support of the people that was there, it's meant a lot to me.
Another special night, even if this one was remote and virtual. We hit the C-list for a special season for one player from the lowly NFC East that deserves the fruits of a postseason run. I know it hurts, Giants fans, and I realize the Washington football team is a rival too. But you must admit, if you are a fan of the NFC and the division, rooting for Washington might actually be easier this year. And that's thanks to Alex Smith. Smith has come all the way back from a near death and near leg amputation to lead Washington to the playoffs. Yes, you heard me right. This is one of the great comeback stories of all time, even if the team only went 7-9. His journey is inspiring. He was told he might have to amputate his leg, that he would likely never walk again, that he would likely never play football again. But 2 years and 17 surgeries later, Alex Smith is a winner. In fact, Washington this season is 5-1 when he starts, 2-8 when he doesn't. For a man that didn't know if he'd have both his legs, let alone play football again, leading Washington to an NFC East title is legendary. He's a winner. His wife Elizabeth made sure that he knows it too, taking his old leg brace and turning it into a Lombardi trophy as a tribute to his comeback from that gruesome leg injury that he suffered in 2018. His reward for this remarkable comeback, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks. Stranger things have happened, folks. I know I'm interested in the outcome of this amazing comeback story. Stay tuned, NFL playoffs on the way. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C.